Suck it.
This is the BAM Podcast with Malcolm Springer.
Like, stop.
That's disturbing.
That is so
What's
disturbing.
that?
That was Madonna. Madonna's become
Madonna is crazy.
What's she been up to?
I don't know. I mean, these people, man, you know.
Being the queen of the Illuminati.
I'm a huge fan of her husband's films, though. Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. Are they still married? They're not married, are they?
I thought they were still married. I don't know. I mean,
she's looking like an evil villain from one of his movies now.
yeah, he's probably traded her in for a new Tater, if I had to guess, because he's still making great movies.
Well, she's not. So, I digress. Do we do an intro on this, or we just?
Rick Monroe is here. So we're here to talk about aliens, Bigfoot, but we are really here to talk about how it's been on the road, what's going on with you. Man, you're so busy. You're probably the busiest, most self-contained artist that I work with, And by the way, before we even start, I'm going to say we listened to some of the record today. We saw the video, the lyric video.
Yeah.
Now I'm so proud of the record we made, man. Dude, it's a bad motherfucker. You know what's funny is it really is just a great record.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little business on the podcast, if that's okay with you guys.
That's fine.
Because I had an idea for this other band. And anyway, you know what? Let's hear from you, Rick, though. Rick, where are you from originally? I know you're from California.
I'm not from California.
Florida.
I'm
right?
from planet Xavier, which is outside of 2 clicks and quadrants outside of where you're from. I've been to your neighborhood before. It's kind of an odd place. I like it. That's where all the Stone Cold Steve Austin aliens live.
Yeah, the whole planet is bald. This Jason Bohl. Now I know he's from Seattle. He moved here, man, to work a lot with me, and he's my studio drummer. He does pretty much every record that I do. You play the drums on, unless it's a band, and then sometimes even with a band. But we won't talk about that on the podcast. but he joined the Hitmen, Rick's band, and man, I'm just glad you guys are here because I know this was going to be a fun one, and I needed it today. I've been kind of had a bad day today, but
it's kind of going around. It's I don't know if it's there's good and bad things going on. It always kind of happens it's cyclical around people.
Is there a full moon coming?
No, man. It's just kind of a thing.
Mercury in retrograde, but I never understood why Mercury had a damn thing to do with how we felt. But you never know. I mean, maybe it's a true thing. I don't know.
I like retro things though, so I wouldn't understand why you're retro. I mean, really cool, kind of hip, old jackets.
Vintage.
So
vintage, man.
Look, we're all ADD here, so we're gonna be all over the place. But did y'all know what retrograde means?
Are we going to be talking about hybrid humans? That's the only thing I care about. I mean, I've been studying. I've been listening to my Alex Jones. I'm just ready to talk about hybrid humans.
Well, that's
fair. Apple juice. Human pig hybrids.
What it means is
that dude is good, man. If he's gonna just have a heart attack.
There's interdimensional beings that are going to come and it's going to take you, and they're going to cut your thing off. That's right. If you're a man, if you're a woman, they're going to just shove something up your tater.
He went from Alex Jones to Sling Blade.
I like that potted meat.
So retrograde.
Okay, what is retrograde?
If you look in the sky when Mercury's going across there or whatever, when Mercury starts going the other direction.
Ah.
So it only goes out the other direction so many months out of the year. I don't know how many that is, but it's funny because I didn't realize what it meant because I don't know how it happens, but whereas the rest of them are going around us, Mercury though he'll start to circle back and then go back. And then because
I always just saw something stupid hippies would try to tell me to just make me feel better about having a bad day. But I mean, and selling me bad weed. So I'm sorry, bro. It's Mercury's in retrograde.
So in other words, the planets are out of whack for those. They're not in sync for those amount of days or whatever that it goes back. That's backwards, But now I thought there was another planet that did it too. But now Mercury does it the most. It does the whole.
And you're an O blood type, right?
Yes.
Are you O negative?
O negative.
So am I. So I'm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because it's the only blood type that runs in herds.
That's right.
Do you know that?
I didn't know.
There was a scientific thing came out, science magazine came out with this whole thing about it. Man,
Well, we have to run in herds. It's actually for
pull that up there, sidetrack.
It's actually for our own benefit, because the thing is we can donate blood to everyone, but we can only get blood from other O negative.
Right.
So
Really?
like you have to know, like if you've got O negative, you have to know someone that's O negative. Otherwise, you wouldn't make it.
Well, you have to know. Most O negative people know that they're O negative. If you don't know your blood type, then
Which
probably.
is funny. Yeah, almost everybody. I've always known it, and I'll ask somebody else, and they're like, I don't know.
Dude,
Like,
I'm so bad about it. I don't even know my blood type.
Well, because you're probably
Like
someone that can
AB or something,
be donated from from
Probably.
anybody. But now if we got in a car accident and they didn't know our blood type, and they gave us the wrong blood, then
It would be a bad thing.
We
Plus-
go into shock.
Plus, I've had Red Cross at my door every chance I get. Hey, would you like to donate some blood?
Oh yeah.
When they find out you're O negative, they're like, "Hey, can you come on over here? We really like, I like that blood."
You know what's funny is when I was a little fella, I was 7 years old. I got this thing called Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, and I was told I could never give blood.
Really?
After having that, and that's kind of weird, isn't it? I don't know if that's. Man, that's what I remember. I'm gonna have to ask my mom about that, because I'm pretty sure they said,
That's
"Hey,
what it
man, never can you give blood." So when then at the high school, they always everybody's giving blood, and I was told, "Well, you can't."
I just
You
partied
can't.
really hard, did tons of drugs, and traveled all over the world. They said I couldn't give blood. No.
No, I'm gonna tell you what.
There's actually very low bload content. in
These
my
days, you
alcohol.
probably could.
Let me tell you
No,
what.
no,
those,
I'm kidding.
Those sons of bitches don't want my blood. No. If you're trying to fight off, some kind of hardcore disease, hey,
Yeah.
my blood's good for you, man. I mean, hell,
It's
it'll
been-
kill it all.
No, we so back to the Foo Fighters thing. So we put that out, and then that was really weird. And then they were kind of like, now that's a weird thing. Also, the whole thing is I've always had people tell me I look like Dave Grohl, and so that was kind of a funny thing. So the hashtag was like not Dave Grohl. I literally wear a T-shirt in the video that says not Dave Grohl, and we were really excited because we knew a lot of people in his camp, and I was kind of hoping that he would get it and dig it, because I think it's like a great cover. But at this point, you don't want to be like, hey, I know your best friend of like the last 30 years died. You want to see our song? So anyway, so that one kind of it's still doing its thing. It's still moving along, which is great. But then what we really were doing is we have a multi-release plan that we're doing, and the first song is "World's Gone Crazy" that we started with. And it's funny because that song is as appropriate as it was the day we wrote it. And that was because we're doing the record. Malcolm goes, man, we need 2 more rocking songs. I think you said it like that. I actually said the F word a lot somewhere in there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then, and so Alan and I were like, and the first one was Beer Shape. Because, my brother's got this idea for beer. And so we wrote that here. Like literally, like within minutes, I'm like, this weird riff, and that song came together. But then Alan and I were like, man, we need to come up with a song. We got to find this thing. And whatever. But before Alan came over, I just watched the Little Nas X. What's the hell that Monty whatever weird dude doing the lap dance for the devil?
I don't remember the name of the song.
I heard about that.
Oh, dude, it's like I wish I could burn my eyes and pull them out of my head. It is, I'm gonna say it's fucked up and it's just wrong on so many levels. And so he's so the whole video is him being like the snake in the Garden of Eden, and then doing all this other crap, and then he ends up like falling down to the like, oh hey, now we're up on camera.
Well, I took our picture.
There you go.
I was trying to get this thing going too.
There you go. But anyway, so he falls down to hell and ends up doing a lap dance for the devil.
Wow, that's
It is the most disturbing video I've ever seen. It was, what it actually was like? Do you guys remember when what the hell is it? The Beautiful People.
Oh, yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson, when they did that The Beautiful People video. Do you remember the first time you saw that video? I was a kid. That disturbed me so bad that I had to see it again. It was like, but this one was not that way. All I remember is I watched this video and I was like, we are going to hell so fast that like no one can even catch us.
We're already in hell.
I know. Well, anyways, so when Alan came over, we're trying to write a song, and I'm finally like, have you seen the Little Nas X video? And Alan's like, no. He's like, what is the Little Nas X? I'm like, well, let me tell you. So I showed him the video, and he just and you got to know Alan. Alan's like, He's a dude from Kentucky. He's like a multi-instrument genius. He's just really kind of got his like own little groove going, living in his own bubble. And he was like, I don't. And then the first lyric we came up with, dancing to the devil's do-si-do. And bang, that song happened. And so that's how we ended up writing World's Going Crazy. So it's literally, thank you, Lil Nas X, for being a freak.
So, I don't want to talk about the dude. I don't know the dude.
I don't either. I'm just going.
I'm just, is it? I mean, is he a gay fella or something?
I think he did come out, but he's but whatever. But my biggest issue is like the fact that he actually stole a Nike design and put blood in the sole and sold those too.
Actual blood.
I mean, look. There is nothing wrong. I'm not saying anything about freaking gay fellas. That's their thing. I mean, I just was wondering because you said a lap dance with the devil, and I'm like, well, it's extremely
homoerotic. But,
okay,
and it is, and it's that's we don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. But what I do care about is just the depravity, like to a point where it's just, and in the fact that this is like considered entertainment is really, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a hypocrite because I do crazy, stupid shit and I cuss and drink and whatever. But I was just like, man, this is mainstream. And then the worst thing is all the people that are going, oh, you're so brilliant. You're such a wonderful artist. It's like, no.
There's just a line you don't cross.
Yeah, well, maybe.
And that line has been crossed.
That's pretty bad.
It is bad.
That's pretty bad. I gotta say, I can't really take up for the guy on that. I usually try to look at the positive thing about everything like that, and it's just that's weird, too weird. It's a little too weird, but hey, man, each his own. If that's what he wants to do, he wants to do. Give a lap dance to the devil.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then he kills the devil and takes his horns. But the good thing is, we wrote
he really?
Yeah, we wrote a really good song out of it. So what do I care? And I don't care if he wants to start a beef. I'm here, Little Nas X. Come find me.
Well, can I ask you a crazy question? Now, which one did the song with Cyrus?
That's him.
That's the guy who did it with him?
That's Old Town Road.
No way.
Yep.
That's him.
Are you serious?
That's him.
What the? Are you?
Billy Ray Cyrus has ruined 2 different decades of music.
Single-handedly. Single-handedly.
Boy, now that's a statement right there.
No, okay, but let me backtrack that. Achy Breaky Heart, I mean, is one of those songs. You guys want to hear some inside baseball stuff? Can I tell you guys something about radio and stuff that I heard from like one of the biggest consultants in the industry?
Yeah.
Won't say who it was, but I'll tell you this much. All right. Radio. And this is gospel, so I don't care. I mean, we'll probably never get to be a radio band just the way we are, so I don't really whatever. Radio doesn't want, they rank songs from 1 to 5. 5 being holy shit, we want to hear this over and over again. 1 being what the hell is this on the radio? They want 3s. Maybe a 4 every once in a while, and maybe a 2.5. Reason being, radio is only there to hold people's attention long enough for advertisers. It's basically the same thing. TV, all that stuff was built around advertising. If I can hold an audience for 30 minutes and get 5 ads in front of them, my value of my airspace is increased. So, if you have a song that is like so impactful, like Achy Breaky Heart, people are going to want to change the channel to find it somewhere else, or they're going to buy it and then not even listen to the radio. But the radio wants to just keep you around. Like, I'm not going to, it's like edging. They just want to edge you forever and then keep you there. And then that's why, like, so when they sit down to describe songs or talk about songs, and in the industry, 3s. Give them 3s. Don't give them a 4. Don't give them a 5. So it kind of sucks if you write a song that it's a 5. You're kind of, it's a blessing and a curse. I mean, they'll do it, but you know what I'm saying? So it's literally from my friend that was telling me about that.
Well, it's funny because the Eagles are going to be in town. Is that tonight?
God, no, don't tell me that. I want to go to the Eagles.
Tonight or tomorrow night?
I think it's tomorrow night.
I'd like to go to the Eagles. They're such a great band.
I was thinking about going. I was thinking about going and seeing.
Were they at Bridgestone?
Yeah, I hadn't even called Pops to get a hold of Mr. Joe. And I'm not going to text him myself. I got his number, but. usually I can get in. It's just I hate asking. I hate asking because especially Nashville, it's hard to ask to get in.
Yeah.
Everybody's calling me for tickets. It's like in Nashville, Tennessee. Like everybody's like, well, why don't you go see Rob when he's in town? And because everybody's all over him. I don't want to, it's like, man, it's my buddy, so I don't want to freaking, sit there and be somebody else that wants to hang out with Rob. It's like, look, man, I mean, now if he's in St. Louis or
I try to catch people when we're out of town because that's totally cool because they love that.
Or even Memphis, but Memphis is still pretty bad because most people from Nashville go down there. But but if I catch him somewhere, and they're doing a show somewhere that's out off base, then I'll call and I'll just go to the freaking show and go to the back and go, hey, tell him I'm here, and that's it, and I'll get to hang out with him. But like I get it. It's just tough, man. That's why I hate asking. But my experience with seeing the Eagles with my pops and it was an absolute life changer for me. I mean, the Eagles are a life changer. But I was asking. Why was I asking? I guess I was asking if y'all were going to the show or not.
Yeah.
But why was I asking that question?
I was talking about radio. We were just talking.
Oh
about
radio. Well, like Hotel California, like okay, so here, okay, that's why I was asking a question. Like Hotel California, like what happened when that particular record came out? It
was a whole different time, though. I mean, it's like
it was.
Radio was nowhere near. There was no corporations. They weren't like conglomerates. They didn't have consultants. It was. I mean, there was DJs getting coke and hookers for spins.
Well, I know that
was the Wild West. I
know when we did the record, your record. I remember there were some songs that I even wanted to go longer. Remember, and we made them longer. I said, "Fuck it, man. We're going to do this because, man, this is
a radio.
Let's just do this, you know." And like the very first song on the record, it's like I was like, "Wow!" I mean, got that freaking. It's like a country, southern rock, Boston type of thing, and it's just a shame that those songs. I mean, I understand, but there's not many bands out there that can carry a song that long. But did you notice where rock was? I mean, have y'all listened to modern rock radio lately, or active modern rock?
No, I'm trying to cut down.
Whatever the fuck it is.
I try not to.
I'm
okay,
trying
well,
to
listen.
back.
You got to check it out because of this. I swear, and I'm not kidding. Like they'll have this big long intro, okay, and they'll have a 2-minute song, and then they'll have this big long freaking outro. It has nothing to do with the song. And they're calling it modern,
That's hilarious.
It's modern rock, it's art.
How about country, where they're trying to get the 2-minute song to happen? They're like I don't know. That 3 minutes is just really kind of killing us. So
I think it's kind of like what I said about legalizing drugs in America. I think that you do that, we're going down. I mean, people. It was funny. We were talking about this just the other day when I was writing with someone. Where did the structure of songwriting come from? And it came from King David. I mean, that's who gave us structure. Here it is. Psalms, you got a verse, you got a chorus, you got a verse, you got a chorus, you got a bridge, you got a chorus. And that was his structure. Not all of Psalms is like that, but most of Psalms is like that. And, that's where we got our songs. That's where it came from.
And that's also like Mozart and all those guys.
You're not going to
used to do theme variation, minuet, something else, then back to theme and variation. So even those, there was like all the big, big orchestra, like, whatever classical pieces all kind of stick to, there's an actual structure to it.
Yeah, because I'm writing for this video game now, this VR game. It's been fun, It's funny because I just got a text from.
Are you a big Twitch guy now? Are you on Twitch?
No, I'm not.
Dude,
on
he
Twitch.
would be you. I would actually watch you on.
You'd
Twitch.
make a killing on Twitch.
He does a really good imitation of you, by the way.
Well, before you do that, look. What I was thinking about doing is, me and my son Brentley, we were talking about doing this, like, because he's a badass. I mean, he gets on there and just clobbers everybody, So, and I watch him every once in a while, and he's just like clobbering these people, and these dudes are on there my age, like, cuss me, you little fucker, And well, so I thought we would do a Twitch thing, me and him.
Oh, you guys would kill it.
And him just kick my ass, the whole game, and me, it'd be funny as shit, that'd be funny shit. But we got all the gear to do it. I just got to figure out how to set all that stuff up. And I'm an audio engineer, not a video engineer, because it is a little bit of a task.
Gotta learn that stuff.
Well, the thing is, I don't want it where you can see it. I want it where he's got a blue screen behind him and he can really, we can put anything back there. You know what I'm saying?
It's warm in here, boys.
But
It's a little warm.
Hey, sidetrack. Can you go in there and see if the AC's on? And if it's not, turn it on.
I'm just with you, sweaty men.
I am too. We're gonna have to open that door right there. I'm kind of sweaty too. Yeah. All right, so
I had to pull up and see when you have one of these luxurious mains like this.
So, hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I saw something on Facebook the other day. I swear to God, it's like they can really make me look like I got real hair.
There's some crazy shit out there.
And I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna go get that done. If I get some extra money, I'm gonna do that just to mess with Tiffany.
Dude,
oh my God!
Yeah, but dude, but see, here's the thing: you
Get
carry
some long ass hair like you.
You carry bald off really well, though. That's the thing. I mean, if you had hair, I think I'd be all like weirded out by it.
Man, the only thing is I've gained some weight since all this not being able to go to the gym and stuff. And I noticed the other day with pictures with Josie Scott, because I'm working on his new record, that I had hot dogs on the back of my neck, and I went, well, that's not going to fly. I had a good 4-pack, of hot dogs, and it's shining real good there on Facebook. And I'm like, man, I can't believe it, because Josie put it up. I was like, man,
come on,
Josie,
man,
give me the hot dogs. Give me the hot dogs, man.
Like hook a brother up. Now you always got to be cool about when you're like posting pictures of people. You got to look at them and be like, are you cool with that? I know it's weird. I had a thing like that not too long ago where I think I was wearing like a jacket and something, and I realized I'd gained weight. Like, didn't realize how much weight I gained. And you look at it like, oh shit, like, because you don't really think about it. You're just going through life. Then when you see it, you're like, oh, I've got to. But luckily, I had a really bad flu, got sick, just busted my face. So I think in the last couple of weeks, yeah.
Man, okay, wait.
Right.
Let's talk about what happened to your face. Okay, so a week later, I got to find that picture. Hey, we're gonna have to find that picture and put it on the. You got to edit it in.
I'm doing a healing video too, which I'll give you like a quick hip to, like not the people on there, but they can see it. You can see this, but yeah. So okay, we went up to Wisconsin to play a.
Okay, that was round one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like showing you like every day, like.
Whoa!
This is like a week.
That's like
week and a half.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah. So that's it. So and then that's like gotten better since then. So, but so we went up. It's weird. We were gonna play this frat house. We were actually supposed to play it like a couple of weeks earlier, but the weather was really bad, so they canceled it. So whatever. So we rescheduled it, and then we scheduled our video shoot around it. So. It was really cool because for World Gone Crazy, we like wanted a different thing, and then Alan has this kind of weird farm supply, like big warehouse up in Kentucky. So I'm like, well, you know what? We can go up there Friday night, shoot the video, go do the show on Saturday, and come back and then start doing some of our other stuff. Because now it's crazy because now we're doing tons of content, like the World's Gone Crazy news. As soon as that's over, we're gonna flip into Common Ground news and all this. So everything's already designed out. So we've got So we had to shoot like 35 news programs or more. So we've been, so it's like we've constantly got to do content. Plus we're shooting our own videos. We're producing all our own shit. It's crazy. So
what?
Yeah. So like the Best of You, we did that. Alan actually edited it. Alan and Megan. So we've been doing all the stuff ourselves.
Well, I got to say, the tech talk, when Jason here starts in on his shit.
Those news things are funny. Come on.
Which
they really
one?
are.
Tech Talk or Trek Talk?
I mean, I was just like.
And those are all real news stories. We literally go find real news stories and just read the headlines because they're so stupid. It's usually man from Florida.
No way. Are you serious?
Actually, if you go on YouTube,
real.
we actually put all the reference points of where the news story. All of those are actual headlines. Like here's my favorite one we just did, and I can't wait till this one comes out. It's man without arms stabs multiple tourists. And I love it because Bobby looks at me and goes, well, there's a will, there's a way. And I go, he's not armed, but he is dangerous. So those are all real news. That's because it's all about the world.
That's a real news headline.
Those are all news. The Hidden Valley Ranch diamond, that's real. Literally the dude getting shot by the dog, that's real. Like those are all real stories.
The microwaving the urine.
Yeah,
that's
microwaving urine. All these things of like
microwaving urine.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
It's you just have to go.
Sorry, I mean say fuck.
It's all right. It's your podcast. You just have to go through, and we've eventually I'll have them all up on YouTube as one thing, and you can just go through new. And they're usually between like 30 seconds and a minute, so we're keeping them tight.
But
I had no idea they were real.
found Santa Claus's
Oh yeah,
tomb.
that's the other one. That was my favorite one. And they found Santa Claus's crypt. And so it's like and every day we're just when we find them, and it's great because now people are sending us stupid real stories.
So let's go back to this.
Oh, the other one that was really good too was the guy who called the cops because he killed his imaginary friend. His imaginary friend's name is Happy. I killed Happy.
Happy and happy anymore.
Ain't happy no more. All right. So, anyways, so
the crypt. Hang on. So Santa Claus crypt. King, slow down, because I got
Alex Jones now. I'm going.
We're doing it.
I'm sorry, but we gotta talk about this. So what's Santa Claus crypt? I mean,
I think it was in Czechoslovakia, wasn't it that where
It was.
Yeah, they found it underneath some flooring when they pulled it up. So it'd be Saint Nick, I guess, would really.
So you guys do know who Saint Nicholas really was. Now, this is good trivia because this is something I know a lot about. Okay, he was a monk that went crazy, and he murdered over 200 or 300 little kids. And the whole thing, how it all started, how Santa Claus, and this is why I don't harp on Santa Claus with my kids at all, even though we still say it to the younger twins. The reason why I kind of let it go by the time they're 8, 9 years old, I was like, hey, here's the deal. Because it's not because of that, because here's the reason why. Because they used to say, hey, you better watch out.
Because Santa Claus is
You
watching
better
you.
not cry. You better not pout. Tell you why. Because Santa Claus is watching you, and he'll come and get you in the middle of the night, and he'll take you to the woods, and he'll kill you. That's how it all started.
You gotta love the history.
And that's no bullshit. This guy was an absolute evil fucking bastard that killed little kids, and that's who we say is coming to visit our kids on Christmas.
And you don't think that we have a bunch of like groomers in our society?
No, but see, but me and my,
I love
Disney.
that. That's the Disney whitewash of it. No, Santa Claus isn't a bad guy. Seriously, come on, listen to Santa. Santa's your friend.
but hey, this is why people from my planet look at the humans and go, "What the fuck? Are you serious?"
Believe me.
I mean, really.
I think I'm an alien too, but because there's no way I'm part of the species of this society. There's no. I'm sorry.
But that's how it all started, and then, and it's so funny because there's a lot of things like that started, and I go, how did that wind up like that?
Ring Around the Rosie. Do you know about that one?
See, now I've heard about this.
Ring
I
Around the
can't remember.
Rosie, Pocket Full of Posies.
That one's
it's
disturbing.
It's all from the plague, because you used to have to keep posies in your pocket to keep the rats away, and so it was like Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Posies, ashes, we all fall down dead. So that's one of those things too. Yeah, that's like.
Now,
totally
what about the
morbid.
Tooth Fairy? Did that come from?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know, man. Well, we're going to find out in about a week if I'm going to get to see the Tooth Fairy. So back to what happened with my face. See,
Okay,
you like that segue?
I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry. Let's go back to.
I got that. So anyway, so we go up, we shoot the video, which was awesome. I mean, that it was so cool because we go up to this, and we're sitting there first and like thinking about we're going to do it outside. Then we're looking at weather, and they had this weird like grain storage, not grain, but it's like feed and everything in there. We open it up. We walk in, we're looking at it like, this could be cool. I turn around, and we have the bus and Meg's car pointing in with the lights. And I'm like, that's where we're going to do it. You're going to set the drums here. We're going to set up fire barrels right here. And it's going to be a cool video.
You couldn't have planned it better. It started raining,
It started
thunderstorm,
raining
lightning.
with like real rain with like big fire. And it's like worked out.
And about, what, after the second take?
Oh, yeah.
After the
crazy guy
second
showed
take,
up.
I'm playing drums, and Alan's behind me. He's doing something with cables. And all of a sudden, this dude just comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And he's like, hey, man, I thought that was Taylor Hawkins playing drums.
Again, weird.
I'm going, wait, what?
So the dude's like, hey, can I hang out? And at first, he seemed fairly normal.
Oh, because he saw him and thought that he was Dave Grohl.
Maybe.
Could be. It could be.
So he comes in, he's like, can I hang out? We're like, now this is actually really weird because I'm gonna talk about our old drummer that actually did have a psychotic break. So this guy reminded me of him a lot, which is even weirder. So he shows up, comes in, and at first we're like, we're doing a video, so all you're gonna do is hear the song and watch us dance around like idiots. We're not really playing it. He's like, oh, I just want to check it out. And at first he sits down and it's kind of cool. We do the first one. He gets up and he starts dancing all weird. And he's like, hey, I told you that I'm not going to do that. This is like crazy. So literally we're doing a song called World's Gone Crazy in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. And the lunatic shows up and hangs out with us.
Out of nowhere.
Tell me there's some weird fate
He insists he lives across the street from that,
and Alan's
that
like,
store. Alan's like, I've never seen this dude in my life.
Never seen this guy in my life. And so whatever. So he hangs out the whole night. We finished rap, the whole thing, and he's still like hanging outside. And we finally were like, Meg, you should leave. Maybe that'll get him to leave. And he finally left. And then, but yeah, it was like totally weird. So
I mean, the dude threw his lighter in the fire barrel, and it blew up in his face.
He was like, oh, I guess I won't be lighting something after, you know. And again, it was really weird because we'd had a whole thing where we had a drummer have a complete psychotic break during COVID, and it was like a weird full circle because he reminded me so much of him. And it was like weird because us doing everything we're doing was one of his big dreams, that we would create our own kind of like cottage industry of creating our own everything. We're completely self-contained now. All of our own editing, all of our own filming, everything. We're like doing it all. And it was
That's
like,
fucking awesome.
But it was weird because I kind of thought like that was kind of a weird ghost or like some kind of a thing of that. But so we get done. We're all really hyped on it. We decided we drive all night to get up to Madison. And we get there and like a dumbass, I'm like, hey man, let's do some day drinking. So we start day drinking. So here now we've been up since Friday, shot a video, drove all the way up to Madison. Now we're in Madison, we're day drinking. We get out, now all of a sudden we're like, hey, we're playing inside, right? The guy's like, no man, we gotta do it outside. And it's like the temperature now is dropping to 30 degrees.
Oh, it's
They have like
freezing.
these heaters and stuff. But by then
Right on the lake.
we'd been drinking, like we didn't eat.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're right on the lake. I think all we'd had is like cheese curds and some alcohol. So by the time we get to this thing, you know, we're tired, we're a little lit, and then we play the show. And I'm playing the show, and I mean, I'm so cold that I remember I even went back to the talkback mic, and I'm like, I'm so cold I can't even sing. I was literally going blah, 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 blah. Like I was making up lyrics because my mouth wouldn't move. I was so cold. And then I'd stop, and there's like this one girl up front I think was like warming your hands.
Yeah, she was going around warming everybody's
She's
hands.
like, we're so cold, but the place was packed. That's what was even weirder. I mean, they were loving it, but we're like miserable. So it's weird that we get done. Of course, they're college kids. They all just jet, and now they'd put the PA up, so there's cables everywhere. We're finally like, all right, let's go ahead and start wrapping up and getting the hell out of here. And it was weird because it was a deck with these stairs, and then another deck, and then it was a beach out to the lake. And I grabbed a cable and something, and it tripped me. And then that's like, I kind of, all I could do is I hit my hand like that. And then right here on the right side of my face, just bang. And I had glasses on, you know, my like little yellow driver glasses. So it cut the bridge of my nose, cut a chunk out right here. And then my teeth.
See.
Yeah. And then my teeth got all jacked up. So
I see. Because I was thinking, well, cable wouldn't have done that.
no, but the cable tripped me. And then there's no way that at that point I was just like, you know,
the rest of us, we're taking stuff out to the bus, right?
Yeah.
And then we all come in. We're like, where the hell's Rick?
I'm laying on the ground.
And then Alan goes, is that Rick over in the corner? And he's just on the ground, just holding his face.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere,
So
man.
just to let you guys know, the next time something like this happens, hopefully never, but if it happens, you got to come up with, man, we beat the hell out of 10 people, man.
Yeah, I know,
These
sure.
rednecks came up, started shit, and we bam,
I beat the
bam.
shit out of that patio with my face.
Yeah.
I bled all over
Well-
that thing, you know. And then the worst thing, and then like a dumbass though, at that point I was so exhausted, I literally just went and crawled into the bunk and went to sleep, which was also not a good idea. And then we got home, and I mean, luckily at this point now it's been a week. I've been to the chiropractor twice. I've seen the dentist and had X-rays and everything. But yeah, it was not a.
Man, you know what? I want to thank you, Rick, on the podcast because, man, you know, and I felt terrible about it because I thought about it like the past 2 or 3 days. I'm like, because, you know, I've been feeling bad. But he says to me, hey, man, how you feeling today? Are you doing good, you know? And you and Scott Wilson, you know, a few more friends back home, of course, TJ. But like, thanks. I'm sorry I haven't checked on you, but I was like, man, I feel bad, man, because I haven't been checking on him. Because when I saw it, I went, wow. I said, what the hell
Everybody
happened?
did.
But no, it kind of freaked me out because the first thing I thought was, oh boy, Malcolm's fixing to get his damn whipping pants on.
Where are they? Who are they?
Me and Junior's fixing to drive somewhere and beat the fuck out of somebody.
I wouldn't have taken that kind of a beating. But
No, not with the crew you got.
No,
It's not like you gotta, you guys walk into place. I'm sure people don't want to mess with y'all.
No, we don't.
You know what I'm saying? They're probably like, hey, you know what? Those guys look like a bunch of bikers that would kick the shit out of us.
Yeah, we're good. We're gonna leave them alone. So I mean luckily it's all working out and I'm fine. So we move forward. But we're back to we've got World's Gone Crazy out. Hopefully we'll get that video. It's being edited right now. I don't know. It's kind of cool because we're on the schedule, and I don't know if I really want to tell everybody the schedule because I don't want anybody mimicking us. But
I don't think you should, but because it is a marketing strategy.
Yeah. So, anyways, but we're doing consistent stuff, and I think that's one of the keys, and that's something everybody knows is consistency does become key because it is hard to maintain. Like even doing those little news things. There's a point where you're like, you don't see a return one day and you're like, why are we even doing this? And you would probably quit. But if you keep doing it, the people, if you stop doing it, I used to do like Bible passages and people one day were like, I stopped. They're like, why did you stop? I'm like, well, because nobody was saying anything. They're like, well, we really miss them. I'm like, well, you should have said something. But that's how people are. And then the next song that's coming out is Common Ground.
I know that's going to be awesome.
Man. I think awesome. That one, I love everything we've done. And we've got some, I think, great songs. I mean, that's the thing about the record is there's so much depth to that record. But that song, I think, is going to be like.
Well, I was hoping that we could maybe get Buffalo on the thing, but I couldn't get hold of him. I texted him and I hadn't heard anything. So
I'm excited. We're doing a show with him in Wisconsin. We're actually opening for Saving Abel in Queensryche, and Buffalo's opening for us.
Man,
come on.
You guys though missed the party. So Buffalo came. He came to my birthday party, which was really me, asking my old lady to marry me. Well, man,
I'm sad we missed that.
So, oh yeah, you are because look,
so the weekend that we had to play that quick.
And I'll say this on the podcast because I don't care. But there was a guy that walked in on me and my little girl that I work with, the artist, Aria. She's in the other LA is the name of the band. Well. He kind of barged in one day while we were writing, and because of, because I'm just worried about all my fucking artists freaking out about people coming in now. It's just we're paranoid lately about it, but because they want their privacy, they don't want people coming in and out. Well, this dude comes busting in here. Hey, man, what's up? I'm like, man, wrong time, dude. I'm sorry, man. Well, I was going to go outside and explain to him, but I was like, well, she might be able to hear me, and I'm not going to upset her. Fuck him. He shouldn't have fucking showed up here without at least, giving me a text or something. Well, so me feeling bad and me being me, I felt bad about the whole thing. So I asked the guy if he'd come to the birthday party, thinking, well, surely with all these, because the place was full of industry people. I mean, there was pretty big swingers here, buddy. I mean, there was some swinging cockaroos in the room, buddy. I'm talking like there was some people who were really somebody, here. He didn't know how to act. Well,
so then you're glad he didn't have us here. You know us. We would have been peeing on the side of the building. And
oh yeah.
So can you imagine me sitting around a campfire trying to enjoy hanging out with my friends and not doing music, and some little fucking asshole sitting by me going, let me just tell you something about music theory. Boy, wrong person to ask. I'm the wrong. It's some fucking shit. So the doc, Brian Fox is sitting right there, and he's half drunk, and he's like sitting. He looked at my son, and they both looked at each other like, oh shit, this ain't gonna turn out good. So they took off. I said, dude. I said, you're a fucking idiot. Get the fuck away from me, man. Well, it turned into that. Well, then he had a little friend with him. And I kept wondering, this guy, strange guy hanging out at my party, hanging out in my studio. I don't know this guy. And usually, when somebody's at somebody's, place, I don't give a shit where I've been. When I go to somebody's house, it doesn't matter if it, when I went to Ozzy Osbourne's house. Ozzy wasn't there, his kids were, but I went up to them and told them who I was working with, and who I was with the record company. Everybody... because I'm not going to come to people's houses and not introduce myself and know,
Right.
so because I'm not their
It's a
party.
respect thing.
Well,
Yeah.
and I got invited by one of their friends. They didn't invite me, and I wanted to make sure I was welcome. And you can tell by the freaking, the confusing handshake or the, hey man, what's up? Nice to meet you.
That's when people are like,
But this guy is in here aggravating Buffalo. Well, before the night was up, Scott Wilson. Scott Wilson's out there. Well, I misunderstood sidetrack. He told me this guy was in here that said something about one of my mixes. I went there. I said, "Get that." I said, "I will shove your face in that fire," because I had a big pit out there, and I will sleep like a baby tonight. I mean, I guess I could use the language I want to use.
Yeah.
It was some really bad language used. I said I was going to kill him. It was freaking pretty awesome. You guys missed a hell of a party.
it sounds like we did.
Yeah, and Scott Wilson's like, whoa, Malcolm, everything's cool, man. Everything's cool. Scott's like trying to calm me down. I wanted to kill the kid, And well, anyway, because what happened was he's a friend of a good friend of mine, but he's not somebody I really have ever hung out with because it's just some people are just annoying, he's in here playing Buffalo stuff, right? And Buffalo, that was the whole point. And Buffalo, he's like playing stuff, here I am playing songs, and I played Common Ground, of course, which is badass. I can't wait to you guys hear it. It's amazing. I mean, it really is an amazing song. And everybody wanted to hear that because Buffalo was here. He wanted to hear it, and I hope you're not mad at me for
Oh,
playing.
no, I think it's cool because I bet it sounds great in here.
It sounded killer.
That's honestly, man, the one thing is I wish you could sell the experience of letting people hear a song in a studio because that is like you'll never hear it sound as good as it does in here, even mastered anywhere else.
Now, what about mixing that song in Atmos?
Yeah, that would be badass.
Man, if you guys want me to, they built another Atmos room over there in the.
Anybody, if we want
F
you
studio.
to, we need to have an Atmos song because that would at least put us in a different category.
Yeah.
Well, I know that me and Josie Scott plan on doing some Atmos mixing. Was the other band? There was someone else that was wanting me to do something. I can't remember if my sister remembers. I don't remember who, but there was another band too that wanted me to do some for them. As far as like working, doing the Universal thing anymore, love those guys. I just don't have time to do it. It's so funny. At first, I was kind of, but they just know I'm too busy. And it's like, I was working myself to death doing the Atmos mixing and then doing
Trying to do records.
trying to do records and stuff too. And there was a few things I got to mix that wasn't, strictly for Atmos. It was like getting some big players, big records. But anyway, I can't wait to get back in there because, man, see, that's the thing with the Rick Monroe hitting a Hitman shit is that shit's got so many harmonies on it.
That would be so much
Oh,
fun.
my God. We could tear that shit up, man.
coolest thing,
it
too,
sounds
is-
so awesome.
The coolest thing too is now we just rehearsed Sunday with all the tracks and everything that we have just to kind of get it, and we finally, because that's actually the first time we've ever played Common Ground, like actually played it, because that song was written in the studio, pretty much all tracked in the studio, and everything was like never, and it was so cool to actually like hear it with the band. It's like
So do the tracks work good?
Working great.
They're insane.
I was
It's
worried about
perfect.
that.
No, they're perfect because it's like the little bit of instrumentation that we don't have.
Right.
The little dobro or the this or the that, and the things that we just don't have the budget to cover another person, but we still as a core unit are carrying it. And the harmonies sound great because those are live. And I mean, we're going crazy. That breakdown sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's your advice to these young artists out here, guys that they can't play all their parts on the record? Do you guys think tracks is okay to do?
I think tracks are only good as a this way. If you can't go out as a 4-piece or 3-piece or 5-piece, whatever you are, and sound really good like that, then you shouldn't be playing.
Oh, okay.
Tracks should supplement,
Tracks
not
should only
replace.
be there to like fill in, to give you just that little extra, like, oh, that's cool, that part's there, because then it allows you to do other things. But you should be playing as much of the song as you possibly can, I believe. And I mean, and again, like, we can't afford to have a keyboard player and a dobro player and all that kind of stuff, but we did play all that stuff pretty much. So, like, if there's a banjo part, I mean, Alan played the banjo, he just can't play banjo and bass at the same time. So it's still him.
Well, have we ever had him try, though?
Yeah, I don't think so.
He might be able to.
All right, well, now that's...
Have you guys ever heard of this guy named Shaky Graves?
No.
I went to see him South by Southwest about, I guess it was 8-9 years ago. This guy plays everything all at once by himself. He does a show. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Old man medicine. But he plays everything at once. So he'll play a kick, has a hi-hat going. Well, he does, I guess, a snare drum type of thing with his foot. And plays harmonica, sings, does samples as a sampler. He does a sampler thing too, and he goes along and he does everything, all the instruments at one time by himself. It's pretty interesting. And I thought it was funny because everybody was like, "Hey man, you gotta go Shaky Graves. You guys, go see Shaky Graves," and it's fucking hilarious. This is funny as shit. So here we are. We go, me and a couple buddies of mine, back home, and man, so here it is, like. We got through seeing him like at 2:30 in the morning in Austin at South by Southwest, right? So we see him showcase whatever. So I'm like, and I'm thinking this guy doesn't have anybody all that looking at him, knowing how am I going to produce a record on this guy? I mean, you know what I'm saying? What do you do? Is there any overdubs? You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. Is
Set a mic in the room and be like, "Go." Sounds great.
But what is it? The whole thing is him playing it at one time. But sure enough, we got out of that thing, and sure enough, I looked over, man, and I saw L.A. Reid head across the street. I was like, "Mr. L.A., what's up, man?" He's like, he went to see the kid play. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, but anyway, it was just, so some people, like, who is really badass at that stuff, though, man, is like Rock from Modern Day Zero. Mesh STL used to be in there. Man, he is the master. It's like has a sampler, like a foot pedal.
Does the loop thing. It's really. I did a show with a guy once that had that loop thing, and he starts building these tracks, the loops, and like the first time you see it, you're like, oh my! Like I'm like, I don't want, because the guy was opening for me. I'm like, I don't want to play after this guy. But the funny thing is, by the third song in, you're like, cool, whatever. You can do loops. I don't really care. Like it becomes like this monotonous thing. Like each song, all of a sudden, there's like, because he'll go like, and that goes, and then he'll go, and that goes, and then it does like a little guitar riff, and you're like, cool. The first time it's like mind blowing, but then like the second song, you're like, okay.
Well, but now Rock does actual parts. Though.
Yeah,
he does actual parts, and he became a master at it because I think that. If you look at history, I'm not saying that Jimi Hendrix wasn't a great guitar player. I'm saying, though, what made him a really great guitar player and made him above everybody else was his technology. He made the big muff the thing. He made, and the technology, I think, is what put him one up, and that's why I was asking about the tracks, what you guys would have to think.
Yeah, I mean, tracks, I mean, it's I don't know, man. Honestly, do whatever makes you feel good. Do whatever makes your band sound
But y'all
good.
do all your harmonies live.
We do all the harmonies live.
See, that's what I love. It's like, y'all didn't ask me for one single harmony thing.
Because that's part of our thing. I mean, that's something that we take pride in.
It is, but man, there's a lot of counter harmonies in there, though, too.
But those guys are pulling it off as much as they possibly can. I mean, we will miss some stuff, but I'd rather miss it and have it still be live. Because put it this way, when our tracks go down, it's not like you go. It's not. We've actually had it happen live because somebody gave us a bad. What is it? The
interface.
Interface.
Yeah.
And the interface shit out on us several times.
What do you mean a bad interface? What was
What was that? The Scarlet?
It was a Scarlet.
Oh, jeez.
And it shit out on us. So we'd start a song and be going like gangbusters, and it would just cut out in the middle of the song. But the funny thing was, it's not like people ever went, like, what the hell's going on? They were just like, they rocked right through it. So we were like, obviously we can still carry it with or without the
tracks.
tracks.
It was weird, man. It would just not work at all.
Right.
Or it would start about 3/4 of the way through a song, it would just stop.
Yeah.
So
we had to pull that out of our rack. So
I'm not going to say who the band was. I'm just going to say me and Eric Baker went to see Falling in Reverse. And the band that was supporting them before, I mean, when we walked in, I was like, because I've heard some of the record because I'm not a huge fan, but some of it rocks, but TJ's a huge fan, so he sends me songs of them, whatever. But anyway, man, I swear to God, I saw this guy on stage singing, and I went, that guy's not singing, man. I mean, it was literally them playing their record.
Yeah, there are a lot of bands that do that, and I mean, okay, if you're out doing 30 dates in 30 days, and you're trying to grind it out. And I mean, I don't know. I mean,
and I'm not talking about falling in reverse though. Now
the other band.
That kid. I mean, he's not a kid. The young man is a bad man. He's a great singer, man. He really is a great singer.
So, and the other thing too is now everybody's got phones with cameras on them, and any night you have like what is it? Bon Jovi just had a couple bad shows, and everybody's like, he's lost his voice. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, but it kind of sucks because all that shit's really hard to sing.
Have you ever actually looked at the advertisements that Ticketmaster is doing for the Bon Jovi tour now?
No, what is it?
All the comments now are just like, we saw him at this place and it was horrible, or saw this video, it was horrible. I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, but so on something like that, it's like it's kind of like when people do the the halftime show. Most of that shit's all tracked because you know what? You don't have a lot of time. You want to make sure it gets over. You're playing it for millions of people, if not billions of people. So I mean, I get it from. The weirdest thing about me, I'm literally as much artist as I am businessman. So I can literally look at everything from both sides of it. The artist part of me hates all of it, but the business side of me understands the commerce and their need for it. Right. So I literally, I'm constantly looking at so many things like that and going, well, that's kind of fucked up, but I get it. So
well, it's funny. Just short sidetrack here, man, guys. You should go to dinner with John Bon Jovi and walk into a restaurant and see how you feel. They're looking at him going, we know who the fuck he is. Yeah. Now, who the hell are you? Because that's happened to me.
They would look at me and go, they'd be like, wow, John Bon Jovi's hanging out with Dave Grohl.
Yeah. Well,
you would have to wear your not Dave Grohl.
Right. Well, with you. But with me, it's like, is that Stone Cold Steve Austin? Who the fuck is that? Is that Goldberg? No. Which Peter Collins was my so that's how I just know that he's such a super nice guy. That's a shame that they're doing that because people are so critical today.
Yeah, and then none of these people. I mean, the other problem is we have all these TV shows that create a false sense of idols and stuff. I mean, a lot of that shit's tracked. Not only is that shit tracked, but a lot of shit they put a lot of time into creating those moments for TV so that it looks a certain way. They already know who's going to win. I mean, anybody I've ever been involved with those things
from day one, they know who's going to win.
With who? With
any of those TV like
singing competitions.
Yeah. Well, now it's so funny. I know the Walker brothers really well. They're from Bernie, Missouri. And they told me about the whole experience. They were on The Voice, and they're twins, and they're country act. And the only reason why they didn't absolutely blow the hell up and become a huge country act is totally their fault because they had it in the bag. I mean, them boys are good, man. They're really fucking good. But they never hooked up. Me at the time, I was in a place where I wasn't producing country yet. And it would have been perfect if I had been because of me being from the Boot Hill and then from the Boot Hill, Missouri. Those guys were killer, but they told me about the whole preparation for it. And guys, I was like, wow. I mean, it really was an absolute, first they pull up to the thing to start, right? And what's his name? Man, dang it, I'm tip my tongue.
I don't watch this show, so I don't really know.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's getting them ready, gosh dang it, and they hadn't had a record out in a long time. Mutt Lange did a record on them, and the low end was messed up. Anyway, I know y'all know who I'm talking about. Hang on,
he's on The Voice. I mean, the only guy
he was one of the guys preparing them for it, but they practiced a month for that minute and 38 seconds.
Yeah.
And everything was choreographed, but it made me realize something. Though it made me realize that the shows that my bands do, that if people want to see a show, for some reason humans I have figured out that they like seeing the same show. They really do, which is really weird.
They will watch the same thing over and over and over again. It's weird. The other thing that's weird, have you ever noticed? Okay, so fine. So they go on, they do the show, they have that one moment, but yet that same day or that next day, that track's available on iTunes. So how is that already available on iTunes if they haven't already recorded it way in advance?
Yeah.
So all that, because I had a friend who won The Voice, and it was a shame because he came off The Voice, Craig Wayne Boyd. I mean, he was going to be on fire, but they controlled every song that he did. nothing sounded good. He got dropped like with 3 months in from his major label deal. And I mean, it's not. I mean, he did well out of it, but I mean, it wasn't like.
Is there anybody that was on The Voice that came out, being big time?
Everybody comes out of The Voice, and we'll usually get about 1 to 2 years of really good bookings. And it kind of sucks because if you're an artist like us, we're literally just we're just a bunch of street urchin thugs that go out and play music. You know, what I mean, that's about it. We load up, we go up, we kick people in the teeth, and then leave. But these guys, they get they'll go out and William Morris and CAA will get them, and they'll book them out for about a year and a half. They'll start as high as they possibly can and start to taper off towards the end. And then when they're done, they're moved on. And it sucks because venues will go out and they'll spend top dollar for somebody who was just on TV. But that audience changes every season because they go to the next person.
That's so interesting.
It's not like you've built your own fan base. That's your fan base. You're on the fan base of the show.
I've got a friend here in Nashville who was on The Voice, probably about 6 or 7 years ago now, and he's still doing pretty good. I mean, he's out on the road with Brothers Osborne a lot. He's going over to Europe.
Some guys have been able to parlay it into stuff, but it's not like Carrie Underwood, or it's not like Chris Daughtry, or it's not like
Daughtry's coming back. He's back out on tour this year.
I mean, those guys have killed it. And they came off of American Idol, but whatever. I mean, but the thing is, I think what it's done is it's created even more disposable artists. Okay, I'm getting on my soapbox. You guys ready? Look out! Woo! Here it comes.
Okay, then I'm gonna get on mine. I'm gonna get on mine about the reason why those shows aren't very good for the music industry.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. Here's a problem. Society in general right now, everything is disposable and everything is super fast. People aren't invested in anything. When we were younger, and I hate to say this, but the thing is, a record would be coming out, or like a CD would be coming out. You'd hear about it. You didn't get it. You couldn't go download it. You couldn't find it. You had to go to a store and get a stupid disc, and you were so excited to get that disc, and you'd unwrap it, and you'd be like, oh my God, what is? You'd look at it, you'd open it, you'd set it in your thing, and then all of a sudden you'd have that experience. The only thing you might have seen is a couple magazines that had some reviews, and you'd be like, I don't know, but this is my favorite band, so I'm going to love it. You're invested. So you literally had to go somewhere, take money, buy something, grab it, bring it home, and listen to it. That's a time investment. So you're not going to just skip to the next song. Where, same thing, a movie. People used to wait in line for movies, get in there. They're not going to just skip that movie. Now, dude, if I don't like a song, after a couple seconds, skip. If I don't like a movie, I can go to the next thing. I don't care.
Well, let me ask you guys, because this is often the questions I ask myself alone at night, and I'm not kidding. How did we keep the listeners' attention for 3 months? Because we worked a song at radio for 3 months.
Right.
That's before we released, and then the band, they got the song worked at radio for 3 months, and then the album was released, and then they had a week, and that first week determined if you're going to live or you're going to die, because you get 1 week. Okay, so the record labels already invested most of the time, at that time anyway, at least $1 million into the band. Because by the time we did the record, in summary, my first major label record, I think I ended up spending almost $500,000 on the record. I mean, that's how big a budgets we had. But it's a high profile band, big record deal, Full Devil Jacket, and then by the time the song came out, it hit radio. By the time our release date, well, I think our first week out with them, I think they sold 35,000. Man, what a joke. But here, actually, back then, that wasn't so good. It was okay.
Yeah, that's kind of like that kind of money.
It's good enough to go ahead and put them on to, with Creed, But now with Greenwell, here's what I got done when I got called, and we need you to come to New York, So, because at the time I worked for Universal and Island Def Jam, so here I am. I'm like, what in the world? Am I getting canned? What the hell is going on? So I get set down in Jeff Finster's office, and him and Rob Stevenson. Well, here's the good news. The good news is you're number one this week. And here's the bad news. You only sold 27,000 records. And I went, well, it's not good at all. This is only 3 years later. That's how fast it went down.
Yeah.
But we had a song that did pretty good. It was on the Spider-Man soundtrack, so it did real good. But how did we keep everybody's attention? And the question is where is there going to be? Is there ever going to be a real medium that we know that, man? I hate to say it, but that's that's not full of, oh, I bought my way on this.
Not really.
You don't think it's gonna happen?
I think it's kind of, it is what it is now. And now it's like, now you've got, TikTok guys getting those deals. I know a TikTok guy that just got $1 million record deal.
Here's my theory.
I know one too. They're not $1 million deal, but he got
this
a
kid
record
got
deal.
$1 million.
This kid got a deal with with Cash Money Records,
Yeah.
and old Sailor from up there in Kentucky. It's his nephew. Now his other nephew's about to get a deal too. I mean, his other nephew's really, really good. But anyway, it's all TikTok stuff.
Yeah, it's all TikTok stuff.
My theory is, as soon as MTV switched from music videos and music-related news to Jersey Shore and all that kind of crap, that's when everybody lost interest. That's when everything shifted.
I think MTV really hurt the industry too. But
When they stopped, and then it kind of VH1 picked up the mantle for a little bit, and then it stopped. But then also it is
Like, it kept people invested.
Yeah, but for the last 12 years now, we've had these smartphones, and again, like I said, if I want to see the latest movie, I can literally go find like a torrent thing and go look at it. If I don't want to watch it, I don't watch it. If I don't like a series, I can stop it. You know how many series I've started and been like,
yep, me too.
I'm not
Me too.
invested. Or if I haven't watched it, and if it didn't come on, like the new series doesn't come on, I'll forget about it. I'll be like, oh wow, I forgot about it. I think that is more than anything, we are not invested in the material. So now we have to find a way on our side to create not just content of music, but content of personality and content of who we are, and get people to start going, oh, well, I like these guys. I want to know these guys. This is interesting.
But you know what? That brings up a good point, though, Rick. Because everybody's seen the whole Game of Thrones, right? Okay, so the opening scene, with the White Walker and all that stuff like that. To me, when I saw that, I thought this is going to run people off of this thing. But I kept watching because I'm into stupid shit like that. But other people, you got to understand, you got my mom looking at it going, what up, Junior? Come on in, man.
Or assholes and batteries, two things you shouldn't lick, but you do anyways.
No. You know me, I'm
Rattlesnakes and
smoking.
condoms, two things you don't fuck with.
Yeah, rattlesnakes and condoms, two things I don't fuck with.
You welcome smoking here, matter of fact.
I ain't no gonna bother about it.
Let's get a little contact high.
Now, what? Speaking of contact high, let's talk about Seattle. I mean, you're from Seattle, so there's a lot of smokers up there.
Oh, yeah. Recreational.
Yeah, Dakota Portman's happens to be one of those type of guys that stays stoned a lot.
Yeah.
It shows.
So, hey, guys, no, I'm not making fun of Dakota. I'm just saying, did y'all, I know Junior heard that song he was on with, Ginger Jones. Did y'all hear it?
No, I never heard it.
No.
Oh, my gosh. It's awesome, dude. It's like, man, I don't know. See, this is where we cut and we watch a little bit of Dakota on that video. My buddy Neil Jones is, he was the one who produced it. It's, man, we wanted a little country, right? So we're like, well, hey, man, let's get Dakota because he loves Dakota voice. So, man, he actually says, two-step turn. That's one of the lyrics. And the other one is cha-cha left and cha-cha right.
So it's a twang.
But you know what? I bet the dang thing. Well, it's already got, I think it was like, see the...
Were they trying to get like an old town road kind of vibe out of it?
Yeah, this is like, well, Ginger Jones, I'm not sure, but Neil Jones is the producer, so I'm assuming that was his. But the original version got over 248 million spins on Spotify and streams.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So they wanted a country version. So I put some dang banjo on it with my samples, of course, and I put piano on it and recorded Dakota and sent it to him. And I know the YouTube video, it hadn't been out very long. The YouTube videos, I know it got quite a bit. How much does it got, buddy? Gentry Jones, and it's with Dakota Portman. And Dakota did a good job. I didn't ever think he would do it. You know what I'm saying? This seems like one of those things where it's you guys Seattle, well, man, I ain't doing that kind of thing.
He stepped out his
Kidding
box.
me? Those guys?
Man, that's way too cool, man. I sell some records. No, but these guys are older, but Ginger Jones. I'm assuming that's Neil Jones's part of that deal. I mean, I'm assuming, but I mean, I'm not for sure.
Seattle, man, I'll tell you, that's actually, I want to do a show up there called like Homeless Real Estate Agent. Right? Now think about it. Now check it out. So there'd be like a person, they'd be like, okay, are you more of a box person or a tarp person? Or do you just want to live au naturel? And then you'd be like, I've got a nice area down by the river here where you can live. We have great corner access, so you can do some panhandling. If you have children, we're gonna have fun. Now, do you have a drug habit or not? Because that has a lot to do with the community we want to put you in, right? Can you imagine that? Like a homeless, really? Because I thought that when I was in
We have a mid-century modern RV with 2 flat tires.
So you can move into that, and you can actually squat there for quite a long time. Now the thing is food. We do have some really good restaurants that have great dumpsters out back with easy access. So this is a great neighborhood for you if you're that kind of a person. Oh, you're actually a box person. Good thing we just had 2 boxes come up. They found the guy face down in some mud, but hey, the place is yours if you want it.
Now, how about this? How about this? Seattle
We need
has
that
safe
for, we need that for
injection sites.
pedophiles. Yeah, you talking about dick and ass? They might enjoy that one. Thanks.
This neighborhood actually is a groomer's neighborhood. You can move right on in.
No, and also we stock our Walgreens full of everything that way you can take. Have y'all seen it where they just go in there and just take a bunch of stuff?
Oh yeah,
They did that out there in Mountain Juliet or someplace like that, didn't they?
They've been doing that everywhere.
Oh, you see it, man. They just walk in and they just
They done changed some kind of law where, they don't just arrest them on the spot. They let them take their shit and go on about their business.
Anything under at least in LA, it's like anything under $1,000.
I saw some video.
Okay, now hang on here. So you mean to tell me that you can walk in any place and you can steal whatever as long as it's over $1,000 and walk out the door?
Yeah, some woman just stole what
Won't
$400
stop
worth of
them
meat.
at all. Won't stop them at all.
Yeah.
Trunk full of fucking meat.
Yeah, they will like
Nuts.
Yeah, they most of the times they'll just let you walk out.
I wish I knew.
guys-
I'd buy
guys-
some of that goddamn meat.
Hey,
Like I don't. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna tell you, like me and my little daughter, I call her Punky. Bentley. We went to Walmart not long ago, and we'd forgotten to scan the water underneath the freaking the basket. And, she's like, "Oh, look, Daddy, we didn't have to pay for that." I said, "Baby, we gotta go back. We gotta go back and pay for that." And we did. We went in, we paid for that, and it's like I don't think that we're in that bad shape that we can.
That's not stealing, Malcolm. That's a mistake.
That was a mistake, but I went. But I gotta be a good example to my daughter. And I gotta say, if I was by myself, I still would have went back in because I'm as that way.
Dude, I would feel. This is why I don't understand people. People must be like sociopaths. Must be running rampant because, dude, I would feel if I took that home and didn't.
I'm worried about it.
I would worry about it for days. I feel bad if I tell somebody the wrong thing and say something bad to somebody. So I'm not. I would never be a good criminal, man. I would suck at that.
I have to say though, me and Junior here, we have stole a truck together.
I mean, I've done some fucked up shit. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, well, let me tell the whole story.
Okay.
The whole story is I left my ex-wife, and I had one of those Eddie Bauer's Expeditions. It was white. I loved that truck, but I let her drive it because I got me a brand new Sequoia.
Wait, was it your truck to begin with?
The truck was in my name.
You didn't steal.
Well,
it,
here's
dude.
what's funny.
That's not stealing.
Well, when her boyfriend started driving a truck, which is now her husband, when her boyfriend started driving a truck, I went, you know what, Junior? That's bullshit. So we went to Vanderbilt, man. I called a tow truck. We had a damn thing towed to the damn Ford place. I got my key made. I drove it home. They called me. Well, she done took the thing, forged my name, and went ahead and I did say forged my name. I could have had her disbarred, unless I can't, because she's a lawyer. Well, the language read Malcolm Springer and or Melissa Springer, and so she went anyway. Whether if it was forgery or not, whatever. In other words, I got the truck stolen from me, but I stole the truck. Well, they're like, call me.
You reacquired the truck. reappropriated
He
or whatever.
repoed his own truck.
Anyway, I'm not mad at my ex-wife anymore, and she's not mad at me. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't talked to her.
Hey, how you doing? This is the first time seeing me.
So are we going to talk about aliens or anything? What
I say
Bigfoot, come on, man.
Yeah, instead of jacking freaking Walgreens and freaking.
Yeah, I mean the world. Dude, we already know the world's insane. That's why we wrote "World's Gone Crazy." We already know that this is crazy. But let's talk about some real.
So
real
since
stuff.
Junior walked in the room, Junior, what's your take on Bigfoot?
Bigfoot. I heard he washed clothes and fold them up.
Okay. Where he's getting at is up in Seattle, up there in Washington, people been going missing, and they never find their bodies, but they find their clothes. They find their clothes, all their clothes folded up against a tree, and that's a spooky shit to me because my
what's weird about all
clothes
that?
on.
What's really weird about all those missing persons things? If you look at the actual data around them, the majority of people that go missing every year happen around these cave systems.
Yeah,
They're all around the U.S.
I looked
All right,
that up.
so now is that a real thing? Because I've heard
Yeah.
a bunch about that.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Well, I mean, then people do go missing constantly. So is it like a Bigfoot thing? Is it an alien thing? Is it our government? By the way,
I don't know.
love our government. Love them 100%. Trust everything they say. I think our government is the best group of people on the planet.
Yes.
I just want to get that out there. I think the FBI, the CIA, the all the alphabet soup people.
We love
are
you guys.
the best. We love you so much, and we support you 100%.
So
Now that I've said that,
okay, so look, there's something deeper. That's funny. It ain't.
Oh,
no-
dude, there's-
it
wait,
ain't
come
no-
on. This
Look.
world's-
All I'm saying is the cave systems do look really weird because that's where most of the missing people come up. And it's like, okay, so here's the thing that really is a scary thought, and no one ever talks about it. Is the Wendigo, but that Wendigo, those cave drawings, they've been here for freaking thousands of years, and so they saw the Wendigo too, which I think they probably had a better
what is?
chance.
I'm sorry, but what is Wendigo? You have to please.
Wendigo is a half human, half whatever the thing it is. It looks like a freaking. It's real skinny. It eats.
Oh, is
it's
it from-
it's basically a person that's gone crazy that eats other people.
Is that from that Walker whatever
Skinwalker Ranch?
Skinwalker Ranch. Man, I did some looking into the Wendigo because it's just there was a movie about it. I thought, well, that's not a very big.
Was that like Slender Man or one of those type things?
It's one of those. What's funny about no. This is something that they have. Like they have this thing. You know what? If you could, hey, sidetrack. If you could, there's a video of what the person's driving down the road, right, and pulled over on the side of the road for something. And the camera, like the camera, I think it was a policeman.
So it was like his dash cam.
And here this deer is sitting on the side of the road, and all of a sudden this thing comes out of the thing and just nabs the dang deer. And you hear the deer we're doing this thing or whatever. And it definitely looked like what they would describe as a Wendigo. It's real white, pale, and
I can see it right now over there. I'm looking at the thing. So I mean, okay. Here's the thing. The only thing about all that stuff, though, is we all have cameras. We all have cameras. Like some of these things. The only thing that's, believe me, I believe that there's a lot of crazy shit out there. I believe in aliens 100% because you'd be pretty arrogant to believe that in a universe that it's endless, that we're the only like intelligent beings. That'd be kind of fucked up. But like you would think that some of these things would actually be,
some of us aren't that intelligent.
well, I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out like that. But I know it's weird that you outed yourself. But
Hey,
no, but you know what but it's weird that we don't have more of these things like on footage, like good footage. 'Cause
Man,
it never fails, man. It's not like it's like
The
dude, I've got
Wendigo.
4K on my phone, and so I should be able to like. If I saw Bigfoot, I'd be like 4K, bang, and look at that. It's always like some weird.
There is new videos out.
Are there?
If we're gonna watch tonight, but back to the Wendigo thing, because the Wendigo thing, there is a ton of freaking videos that man, I'm gonna tell you, you can't really dress up like one of them. I mean, they're so skinny, and they're so. It would take It would take freaking probably some kind of
Like a 7-foot gymnast.
No, the video, trickery shit that they do. That it's not possible because there's they do so much with video now. They can do anything. They can place a freaking dude right here, in this, on a podcast.
And deep fakes and all that shit's crazy. I don't smoke weed, but God, I love the smell of weed.
I do too.
Oh, man,
I'm going to tell you that.
It tastes great.
That means we're in the studio. It just means we're in the studio, man.
Yeah, I just
Look at the El Chupacabra.
Yeah,
that
that's
whole
not-
thing.
yeah.
And that actually, they finally found one.
Did they really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen that little one they found?
Yeah, but I mean,
It was in Texas.
Yeah, the thing's got hands. The thing just sit there. Junior, have you seen that shit? This dude.
All right, so we're actually
The
now
dog.
in Alex Jones' area because he's talking about hybrid human animals, which is something that they have been doing. So is that what these things are? Are these us
know.
like creating like a?
Man.
These are like hybrid humans that we've
I think-
that have got escaped, and now we've got like some weird pig man running around.
I think that somewhere along the line that the Wendigo has always. That's the oldest of all legends.
Well, they say it was a
more
island in New York.
more than vampires, werewolves,
What?
anything like that.
They say it was an island in New York that actually they was doing a lot of testing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but
What was that,
That was Long Island, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
here's a
Ellis
weird
Island,
thing.
I think.
Let's go back to
Really?
something- Yeah,
I think
here's a
so.
really weird thing. How is it though? This is where things get really bizarre. Okay, so long before we had communication in China, they had dragons, right?
Yeah.
But yet in England,
They had
what did they
dragons.
have? They had dragons. There's no way those people communicated with each other, but yet there was dragons in England and dragons in China. There were like all these different societies have had certain things that have all.
I thought that
at
they found the remains of dragons.
Maybe, but you know what I'm saying. So I mean, so like these things that we don't believe in, but yet how is it that China can have something that's in England? All these, it's either we have a complete consciousness of humanity, which I kind of believe in that a little bit, or there are all these really weird, obscure things that we don't know about.
Do you think dragons are dinosaurs?
Could be.
Of course, but the thing that they.
Oh, wait, real quick. I'm sorry. Did you guys know that fossil fuel is not a real thing?
What do you mean?
That like fuel is not from fossils. There's actually in like 87 or 84, some German guy created fossil fuel. It's like our fuel is not from dinosaur bones.
Then what it's from?
It comes from the earth. They made that up, and that's literally like I've checked it out. I've checked out
Chemicals.
multiple sources. It's
What?
Not, yes. I just found that out. Freaked me out, but it is true.
Well-
so fossil fuel is a lie. It is not fuel from fossils.
Okay, so they've lied to us about that this whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
And did you guys know that the Earth is really flat?
All right, man. It's nice hanging out with you. I'm all on my way.
But, no.
No, but isn't that crazy?
'cause I always thought, man, there's a lot of damn dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because one guy who started like looking into it goes, I was watching the whole thing like in the Gulf. It's like, how could there be that many dinosaurs under the Gulf of Mexico, like with all that fuel and like just spilling into it? And then he looked into it, and then it's actually a guy made it up. So it's not that, and it's actual. You go through the internet and you can search all kinds of different things,
Okay.
and it's true.
So what this is something that God Himself, the Creator,
Yes.
put into the ground for us to freaking
Nothing
burn,
else creates
for us
combustion.
to for us to get to this level of technology.
Because wait, what helps a tree grow?
Sun.
Carbon.
And what does a tree do with carbon?
Yeah, but we're all made of carbon.
I know,
guys.
but what does a tree do with carbon? Turns it into oxygen. So really, a carbon footprint or all this stuff about carbon, like
oh, that's
emissions,
all horseshit.
right?
So
So
they can't tell you how old something is. No. they have no idea because the level of carbon in the air was so totally different back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And why there was giants, why there was dinosaurs, why there was giant people, they know there was giants now.
yeah, that's another thing they have figured out.
They all know that. So so there was giants because the oxygen in the atmosphere was so much more abundant and thick, and
But we have more
grew
trees
things
now
big.
than we've ever had. So actually, our oxygen should probably be better than it ever was.
But do we really know that though? I mean, think about this. So I mean, when back. You're talking about the redwoods, okay, so out there in California. You're talking about those being everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a lot of oxygen.
But they've actually said that the tree, the whole thing, like look at LA. LA was a desert, and it's now they've changed the temperate like landscape of it to make it far more of like almost a tropical area.
They've terraformed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice word. Look at the vernacular on you.
That's right.
Whipping out some big words. Anyways,
Thank you, Tito.
Vernacular.
yeah. But
That was a big word for me. I'm like, good Lord, let's
we were killing Malcolm all session when we were doing our record. He's like, you guys and your goddamn big words.
Well,
you got to do your Malcolm. Come on, do it just one time. Come on.
Fuck!
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
sorry about that. Well,
Anyways.
I express myself a little differently than most people.
My favorite thing about you, I'm going to have to say, with like doing a record with you, you're sitting there and be like, man, I just still don't understand. Why does human beings get so it's literally like a wind up, and then it goes in this whole other thing. And then all of a sudden you'll stop, and there's a couple times you stop, and you like look back at me and winked. And I was like, okay, so he's just fucking with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that all about?
Fucking humans.
It'd be great because it would wind up. It would start like, I just don't understand why you guys start to do that. And then it hits this peak. And everybody's kind of freaking out. And then I look at you and you'd be like,
Here you go. My favorite story with Malcolm. The very first time I ever met him out in Seattle. We're doing that record.
Right.
And Malcolm comes from Nashville, right? So everything he does, he's like, I'm going to use my guys.
yeah.
But this is the first time he's letting the artists he's working with use their band, right? And so we get out there and we start playing. First thing Malcolm tells me, he goes, you better stay on the click. I said, all right, I got it, no problem. So we start tracking and everything's on the click, and then he stops me about 30 seconds in. I'm like, oh, great, what did I do? And he goes, quit thinking about Susie Q's tater hole.
Well, because the thing is, you know what that means though. Like if you're sitting there, you're sitting there taking a take or whatever, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you know what I mean? You start thinking about.
That's like songwriting. Same thing. Be like, yeah, I like the song, but I started thinking about Susie Q's tater hole. Like, you get the second verse, like, you got to change the second verse. All right, you got to need a bridge. I don't write bridges. Well, you better start writing bridges, damn it.
Well, I mean, hey,
How long have you and Malcolm been working together?
Like 25 years.
25.
no, they didn't know me back in the freaking wild days.
Probably actually about over a year and a half. Almost 2 years, pretty much. Because we started. Actually, guys, you know how I actually came to meet Malcolm? This is a really good story.
Maybe I'm on the podcast.
Oh, he's on a podcast. Hey, is Tiff online?
Yeah.
Hi, Tiff. Come on, we're all looking at you.
I love you, sweetie. I'll call you back. Anyway.
This is how I met Malcolm. This is a pretty crazy story. So we were in L.A. playing a show at the Viper Room. Holly Hutchinson shows up to actually watch the band before us that was opening for us, Waylon. We play a show, and it's cool because, I mean, dude, honestly, I'm going to take this as we're one of the last bands to sell out the Viper Room, and we're one of the first bands in like 10 years that the Viper Room actually had to pay. Like, we go back, and the guy's like, dude, I haven't paid a band for playing here in like 10 years. He opens up the book. It's all dusty. He's like, I'm really excited to write you guys a check. It's like, I'm so excited to write, because we sold out all their VIP like booths. He's like, no one has done this.
That's some real talk right there.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. He's like, dude, seriously, we haven't sold out these booths or anything like this in years, like years. So anyways, so we finished the show, and Holly comes up and she's like, you guys live are really amazing. She's like, there's something about this energy, and I hear your records, and she's like, I like your records, but I just don't feel it. Because I got this guy Malcolm in Nashville. I'm like, cool, whatever. That ends. Chrissy Dobry, Mr. Hey, what's up, bro?
Gotta love him though, man.
Calls me one day. He's like, hey, man, I'm in Nashville at over at Universal with this guy Malcolm. I'm like, huh, that's weird. I remember that name. And he's like, why don't you come down? I'm like, all right. So I come down to meet him. But it's so weird because it literally was someone in L.A. told me about it. A buddy from Wisconsin told me about it. We came down, we talked. And then that's kind of where it started. But it's kind of a weird way to it came from multiple sources, but completely different. And then he brought you in to do like the first couple tracks and everything like that. And that's like, and we were literally were only going to cut like a couple tunes just to kind of see what the vibe was.
Yeah, I think that was my first year in Nashville, wasn't it?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and then we did like God's Ear, and the funny thing is we've got God's Ear, Spell, and Better Left Alone. Those like God's Ear made the record, but the other two didn't, and they're still great sounding songs. And then we ended up, I don't know. We ended up meeting a nice shyster political guy and started a record label
Yeah.
that never happened. And then
But hey, but here's the great thing about it. The great thing about it
we
is
still made a greait record.
we got the money to make a record. I guess I'm laughing.
Not sure where that came from, but at this point in time,
Me neither. I'm gonna be honest with you.
FBI, we don't know anything.
Hey, I wish nothing but the worst for that guy. So.
I got to tell you, dude. I you know what? At this point in my life, I've been through enough like people that I'm pretty sharp. Like I've got a pretty good. Even my wife has a really good radar, and it was so weird to like bring somebody into our kind of our world that I thought was literally legit, and we literally checked every box, and then turned out to be one of the worst people on the planet. And you're like, whoa.
Hey,
Yeah.
real talk. I felt that vibe day
Right away?
one.
Did you really?
Yep, and he told me.
Yeah,
right
I
away.
told him day one.
Dude, I wish you
And
told me that day one.
Hey, if I feel a vibe about anybody he working
Yeah.
with, I tell him about it.
Yeah, I kind of. I mean, there's like. Here's the thing: is I had that vibe, but his talk. Like we sat down. He came to my house and we spent like we literally stayed up till like almost 1 o'clock in the morning just bullshitting. And I was like, man, this. And the other thing I loved about him was he was actually contemplating promoting music the way they do campaigns, and the way they analyze like demographics is frightening. They have it down to a
That's why I
science.
knew he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Oh no! When it came to campaigns, that dude, like, if you sat down and talked
campaign, I'm talking about music and campaign.
no.
He didn't know what the
No.
fuck he was doing. I'm like, I've been helping my cousin
Yeah.
since like '84, you know, and I was like street team and marketing. And when I just heard them talking, I'm like, he know what the fuck he doing.
Not about music.
But I just sit back and just, you know, that's my homie, man.
Yeah.
You know, but I just, you know, I don't get in his business. But if you ask me,
You should have just
I'ma
walked in the
tell
room,
him.
smacked him upside the head, and said, "Get out, you guys, demon, devil man, leave."
See, I'm
gonna
good
tell
with
you-
my gut. And he totally passed the
Yeah,
test
he
with me,
passed a
man.
lot of like even Darcy's
he,
like
he did until he met. There was two people. When Junior met him, I went. There was a weird vibe. You know. Okay, so.
So weird. We're talking about somebody that we're not even mentioning the name. Him who shall not be named. What is this, Slytherin? What are
Hey,
we-
you know me, I speak on it. I'm just, you know, his
No,
name Chris. I'm doing on some real shit. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I ain't scared of the motherfucker. I ain't never liked the motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. My God always been up to this motherfucker, and there's a lot of them I got my God up to this motherfucker. And they gonna stay up to the motherfucker.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So when they see me, the energy is still there. My God is up.
But you know, it's like I have a whole variety of friends that I just love, you know, because of who they are, you know. But now some of the people aren't like that, and I got that vibe from him. When you meet Junior, I can tell right away, hey man, you ain't cool with Junior, you ain't cool with me. And I thought, this ain't gonna last. But you know what? But the deal is, man, there's nobody got me. I got them. So you know, and I know when I'll say that on the podcast, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you.
well, at the end of the
fuck
day,
that dude.
at the end of the day, we all walked away. I mean, like totally unscathed because I mean, there ain't no paper.
To me,
Gotta rate
to me, he
I
just
know we
came
probably
in.
need to add some of the. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, to
whatever.
me, he just came in thinking he just know everything about
Well,
music.
The one thing I
Well,
will
yeah,
That's what just really just
the
threw
one
me
thing
the
I
fuck
will
out.
give him, and the one thing that I was really excited about, the thing is, see, I don't, the music industry as we know it is kind of dead. Unless you're at the top of the food chain, you're going to spend millions of dollars. And that's what happens with all the big artists. They do that, and they still play that game, and it works. But there's a new way of doing it, and we haven't quite figured out what it is. He kind of actually, man, when we sat down, he had a game plan. I was like, man, how cool it would be to actually promote a band like a campaign. Then the way he was talking about it was actually really brilliant. Like, you take a candidate, the way they actually, and the way they do, like, again, the way they do demographics on a candidate is frightening. And the amount of information that he can garner from people. I mean, they have the shit where they actually, like, when you drive by, they're like, they'll set stuff up that will capture all your information from your phone. Like, it's illegal as shit, but they have it. So they know everything about you.
A beacon.
Yeah. They set those beacons out on the freeway
Really?
in certain neighborhoods to catch everyone's information. Like, dude, it's beyond insane the amount of information that he was talking about. And I'm like, all right, well, this could actually work with a band. Like you take a band and you find that demographic that's right in there. We could market directly to them, and this is really cool and blah 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 blah. But he was full of shit, so whatever.
I have to say, but I have to say this. You know,
I'm having a really bad deja vu, by the way. Like, crazy.
But I'm not talking bad about any of the leaders of our country or anything like that. I have no opinion because I don't give
You mean
a
the
damn.
dude who shakes like invisible hands?
But now, how in the world do you get a bunch of people to come to a place and see an old man talk
My butt's been wiped.
about some bullshit you don't give a
butt's been
fuck
wiped.
about? But I mean, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I think getting people out to see something like that probably takes a lot, you know. But anyway, it doesn't have anything to do with the music business. It really doesn't, because and the thing about it is,
But it doesn't. It doesn't. Because here's the thing. Because now, unfortunately, because music's disposable, we now have to become a cult of personality. It's not about us being a great band writing great songs. It has to be about us being a band that people can relate to and be part of. We need to be part of their social media lives. We need to be part of their entire like landscape and be part of that. And that's what, like, I mean, you know, people that have been very successful over in the past have become very much part of someone's life because of how they market themselves to them.
Yeah, they use a lot of their music in politics too.
Yeah.
but I think that I'm just so old music business, you know, where did we ever talk about? I mean, Junior has known me for 25 years. Did we ever talk about things in a damn session about politics ever?
Never.
No, not too.
You know, there was one time. Matter of fact, and you guys are gonna really love this. I swear, when I got my deal, my first time I deal with Island Dev Jam back in the day, I asked who the president was. I didn't have a clue.
Although,
I had been in the studio.
you actually
so
told me a story that broke my heart about the last president. You said the first time you ever really felt the effect of a president was the last president.
Yeah.
Like a positive effect.
Yeah.
And today I just watched the stock market drop another 400 points, 500 points.
Well, him and Bill, brother Bill Clinton.
Clinton, man.
I'm gonna tell you, I made a shit ton of money with Bill Clinton in office, and I made a shit ton of money.
He was also a
with-
smart
with-
man because he also realized that you need
Trump
to
in
work with
office.
other people, and come up with a plan. But this whatever.
I'm not any party fan because I am Sweden. I stay neutral because I just want somebody in there that's going to freaking do a good job, and I just don't want the gas prices to be outrageous, and I don't want everybody riding in the streets.
One thing about politicians, they pick and choose where they want to put their money at.
Yeah. Well,
just like we got them invested money in all these sports teams.
Yeah.
These supposed to be billion-dollar sports teams, right? Why are the citizens paying for their motherfucking stadium?
Because
that shit need to go to that shit need to go to healthcare.
Yeah.
Free healthcare.
There's
exactly.
Fuck, I don't mean no harm, but fuck LeBron. All them hockey players, basketball. Fuck them. They got enough money.
Yeah.
We just trying to stay healthy.
Yeah.
That should be free healthcare.
And they're taxing the hell out of us for it.
Taxing the hell out of them.
Yeah, to get like them a newer stadium. I'm sorry, but man, I really can't.
These motherfuckers ain't winning no Super Bowl. Why the fuck they gonna get a stadium here?
Well, because they want a Super Bowl here, is what I heard. Because they're going to put a dome. Or
are we doing a new stadium?
Yes,
I don't see
it's
why.
It's been on the docket for a while.
I don't see why.
But what they're doing is they're building a new stadium. But what are they going to do with the Nissan stadium? It's like, okay, so look. They're building one that's going to have a top over it. Because what's going on is all these big wigs,
Super Bowl.
But all these big wigs though that are here in town, and there's a lot here in town. Buy a lot of them country stars and bringing rock stars and bringing everybody.
And they need to bring gambling and everything on that.
The good thing is they want to build. Wait, let's talk about our mayor. I mean, come on. Remember the Christmas bombing happened? That guy was such a rock. He was so there for all of us.
But what I was trying to say is, nobody wants to go to a football game in January when it's 10 degrees outside. Right. The only reason why me and my boys didn't go this year, we were about to go to the Browns. I think it was the Browns. They played the Browns, and well, okay, we'll go see this. And it's going to be 15 degrees outside. Well, man, we ain't going to go back that stairs because it's going to be 10 below up there.
We can watch it at home on the TV.
Yeah, it's like, we can hear from, well, I can't hear from the house, but, I'm not opposed to them getting a freaking. It would be nice to be able to be in a city that they did have a Super Bowl. I gotta admit that, man, because we may have a chance to get tickets to go because maybe they do special for the city. I don't know. I don't know if you live here.
The weird thing
They won't.
When it comes to politics. Here's the thing.
That's the Titans.
I don't really trust politicians to begin with.
Everybody works at Dallas.
And I'm not a party person. I'm actually registered independent.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to like vote however I want. Because it's just weird because honestly, the whole thing is our forefathers were brilliant. And the thing is people should be going into office as a civil servant. And term limits. There's no reason that Nancy Pelosi, who has been in office from like 40 something till whatever. But I mean, and then nobody, and I don't care, fucking Republican, Democrat, nobody should be in office more than a couple terms. Period. Because the whole job is you're supposed to go. Like, here's the deal: we all sit in a room and we all decide something. And I say, hey, Junior, we've all decided that we want new roads. And I say, Junior, will you go to Washington and make sure we get new roads? And you go, yeah, I'll do that. So we elect you. You go to Washington. You say, hey, we need new roads. And then you're done. You're like, cool, I'm back. And then it's your turn. And then it's your turn. And it's my turn. That's kind of what it was supposed to be. And then we send Junior there. And he's like, 20 years later, he's like, I'm still working on those new roads, but I've made a couple $1 million.
There's a lot of them motherfuckers in there look like somebody great
right.
granddaddy.
That is the breakdown right there. Honestly, term limits would probably flip our country in a much more positive way because now we're like all of a sudden like Democrat, liberal, Republican, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, really. It really don't even matter who in there. But if you ain't gonna change no bills.
Then what are you doing?
But everybody, it don't even matter who in there. You still ain't changing no bills. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody is so divided. Everybody is so like.
But are they though? Because I don't think the majority of people are like as divided. Because I don't, dude. We travel.
Oh, I don't think so either.
We travel the country. I'm going to tell you one thing. We travel the country. Like I literally have gone fucking east to west, north and south. I don't see the 81 million voters that voted for the current president.
Not at all.
Anywhere we go. And I don't talk to anybody that feels like they're digging what's going on. So there's some weird disconnect. Something's going on. I'm not sure what it is, but all I know is normal, just American folks are not loving what's happening. And it's everybody. It's fucking, I don't care, race, religion, whatever your thing is. Everyone feels the same way. Everybody feels like
it all started about the people who run in it, though.
Yeah, there's a complete disconnect between the people running the country and everyone living in the country.
And you know what's scary is that the American people's letting it happen.
Yeah.
And what's even more scary is like our choices in office is like terrible choices. It's like, look, man, look.
Are we really choosing the people that we?
We divided most definitely. It's like it's Some people feel like they making enough money, they ain't gonna say nothing.
Of course, they don't want to screw up their gravy train.
I worked at a place where they had a union, but they was racist in the motherfucker. Vanderbilt University. Right. I work for them sorry motherfuckers. I ain't even gonna lie.
I've been dealing with Bill from the hospital,
they actually let they supervisor cuss people out and keep them on payroll. But I started reporting the bitch, and they fired me because I'm a man. I'm gonna stay in my ground.
Yeah.
With me, it's all about respect. Because if you ain't gonna get none, you ain't gonna get none.
See, the problem is, I think the biggest breakdown is, here's the deal. Humanity, if you have the advantage over another person, you should never take it. You should always treat everybody equally and take care of them. If you're the boss on somebody, then you should make sure that you treat the person under you same respect and be good to them. And the problem is that we have people who are at the top.
They bring personal problems to the job.
Right. But people at the top don't give a shit about anybody else.
Don't nobody care about your personal problem. You supposed to leave that shit at the door.
Right. I don't go on stage and talk about
what I'm saying.
My
don't nobody you know what I'm saying?
Pay my bills.
They come hear you sing.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about that.
Don't give a fuck about none of that.
But there is the problem. The problem is, and I really don't care who I make mad. The problem is this: we send money to other countries to help them when we can't help ourselves.
I'm sorry. Hey, man, I know Ukraine and Russia is a big thing. Everybody's all down with that. But here's the thing. Why are we spending billions upon billions and millions of dollars when we have so many issues, we have so many homeless and people like all
We-
that money.
We have roads we can't even hardly
Yeah.
drive on because it'll tear your car up.
It used to
And
be.
we're sending money over there to some.
The
you know,
entire West Coast is homeless, basically.
Yeah. And
think about
I get it, whatever. I don't know what's going on over there, but why are we spending money on something like that when we don't spend money on ourselves?
because they don't look at us like the
It ain't their money.
the American public. These guys in this
know.
room, we're the middle class, and guess what? Upper middle class, whatever. But we're middle class no matter what way you look at
I'm
it.
actually upper middle. No,
No one's saying
I'm
no.
actually low, sort of semi-middle, sort of like slash.
Well,
class.
I mean, my company, my company brings in enough, but to call, I guess, me rich or in the higher tax
Isn't
bracket.
that weird?
But if you take away all the shit I pay for, I ain't making shit.
I know, I love it. I love it. I just did my taxes, and I'm like, wow, it looks good coming in.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap, going out.
Oh yeah. When you start paying, people start paying for your studio,
Your
start paying for your
insurance,
gear.
your vehicles.
Oh
your-
my God! It's like
See,
what?
that's the other thing too. Like some lady in Washington is talking about a $30 an hour minimum wage. No one.
It's
who's
because you need to make $400,000 a year.
no
to
one
live
who's
in
run a
Washington.
company ever would consider a $30 an hour minimum wage. Here's the deal. Minimum wage is supposed to be your starting scale. That's supposed to be your like beginning job. It's a rung on a ladder. It's not where you stop. McDonald's is for like high school kids coming up and older people that want something to do with their time. It's not unless you want to buy a franchise and move on. I mean that's like a great idea to work through it. But these people that are like $30 an hour, that's a minimum wage. It's like what the fuck? That's like as a business owner, you're like I can't do business.
You know what's fucked up about Washington, though? You even if you make $30 an hour in Washington, you can't live there because everything is taxed.
Right.
Everything. Literally,
Just
the
think
roads
about
you drive on are
everything
taxed
just went
by
up.
a toll.
Yeah.
Everything
They've
just
got-
went up. Right now, everything just went up.
Tax
And they still making the same pay. Gas
But
done went up,
but
food
the thing
went
is
up.
They keep raising the pay. Inflation gets worse. That's the whole thing. It's like they dump so much money into our economy. It's great. It's like look, people should get paid a living wage, but the problem is,
They've been winning for so many years. It shouldn't matter.
yeah,
When the holidays come around, how many sales go on?
yeah,
They giving you everything then.
yeah,
They can give it to you now.
yeah.
Yep.
They already the one.
No.
They already billionaires.
Oh, yeah.
These companies billionaires.
Yeah.
And all the factories is across sea, so they can do it now. Shit is dirt cheap
But
for them making it over there.
I saw this thing on the men who made America, and it's you got John D. Rockefeller who came from nothing. I mean, he was so poor he had to freaking sell lemonade on the side of the road to freaking feed his family, help feed his family because his dad was a piece of shit and ran off their money. I mean, he had a hard life starting out, and he became this multimillionaire. And here, the United States takes him to court after him bailing the United States out. He bailed our economy out.
They created the Fed though.
But here's the thing, and they're getting him because he was he had a monopoly.
Smart.
But now maybe he did have. But you know what happened though? What's funny is about the whole thing. He sold. They busted his companies up, and he sold. He bought most of the stock in all the companies that divided up and made more money than ever. But anyway, the whole point is, what about these people? Like, okay, I'll call them out. Comcast, Xfinity, whatever the hell they're called. You piece of
Spectrum.
shit
They
company.
keep on going.
Oh man, don't get my blood pressure up. I look at I never look at my bank statement, man. I'm just put money in, take money out, whatever. I pay bills. Well. I closed this bank account over here at Brinket Regions, and I was looking on there. I'm like, $285 came out of my account for Comcast, not Xfinity. Well, so I told Tip, I said, Tip, call them sons of bitches and tell them, ask them what the hell the deal is. So she's on. Give me that phone. I said, what the hell? This lady's like, well, sir, you went over your limit. I said, I have unlimited.
Yeah, but there's not. That's not.
But it's not unlimited. Okay, well, that makes you a crook. And when we sent you a text message saying you over your limit, I went, who? Because I got a text from Xfinity, but not from Comcast. What are you? You can't be one and not be the other. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. But these monopolies, but why don't they break some of that shit up? Because, especially a company like Comcast, I wish they would take those some bitches
That's like
down because
tax
they are
evasion, man.
fucking
They
robbers. They
all
are
tax-
thieves.
They're like tax
Those-
evasion. They
those
go from one name
motherfuckers,
to another name.
Those motherfuckers are
but
trying
you
to
know-
charge me for some equipment that I never had.
Yeah.
I brought my own equipment.
Only thing I'm getting charged
I
for
canceled my
Wi-Fi.
account.
That's the only thing I'm
and
paying
they're
for.
trying to tell me I owe them equipment. I'm going,
But what they
I'm a capitalist, so let them fucking make their money and fuck you guys. No, I'm.
we can count on this podcast not being on the mainstream.
No, this is now we've gone. Well, we never talked about aliens, or we did.
Let's go back to Bigfoot here because hey, listen. Let's see.
Bigfoot a man or a woman?
Well, they're female. There's families of them.
There's the
I'm
big
just-
feet,
You
Bigfoot,
have-
and Bigfoot.
You have the
Yeah,
new
I'm-
footage up there.
I'm just curious.
All right, guys. Let's see this new footage here. Hang on. Let's see what
This Bigfoot.
My wife's gonna be like, "What did you do from 7:30 to like 11 o'clock at night?"
what time is it?
And it's like 10:45.
Oh shit!
So I'm gonna have to take a picture like this so she knows I'm still here.
Oh, here you go. Oh, your mic didn't work. I had to use my mic.
This podcast will not be very good for any of us.
Anyway, okay. Well, got sidetracked in there. He probably looking up some kind of.
Sidetrack. Think about some porn.
Well,
No, guys. But look.
Bigfoot porn's really good. I like it. See, that's another thing I got searched that Google started wondering about who I am. So, hey, man, we make music, right?
So.
Let's go back to talk about
When your
music.
next album coming out? When your album coming out?
Well, the thing is, we're not actually doing it now.
When your next?
Well, we're just
single?
doing releases. The
Okay.
next one, Common Ground's coming out June 10th. So
June 10th.
June 10th.
You doing a release party? Or?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one he did with
Dude, I wanted to do a release party.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
But I was going to try to have another podcast and have Buffalo here and have you come in.
dude, I would love to do
and
that.
us all hang out and talk. You know, y'all do y'all smoking and we'll shoot your shit. Because man, it's a great song, and you know, Buffalo, he knows how to put stuff to.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Common Ground.
Wacky to Macky.
The concept about it is that everyone has common ground. I don't give a shit, skin color, preference, whatever. We all have common ground. And then so like when I heard the riff, I'm like, okay. I wrote the hook, and I wanted to find someone to do the rap for it because I wanted it to be because it's a rap song with like a rock chorus.
Yeah.
And Buffalo, man, killed it because he came in and he like, because you don't want to preach to people. I don't want to be like, hey, we need to all have common ground and it's all about, you know. But he did such a good job.
Yeah, once you tell him the concept of the song, he pretty much, man,
And he
knock
nailed
it out.
it. And he did it in such a way that all of a sudden he slid in some really heavy moments.
Words play.
But did it so cool. And it was just like, oh, yeah, by the way. And it's exactly what I said. When he finally says, you know, a little common sense, a little common ground could unite the states of America. Like, bang. And he nailed it. But he did it. Like, the first verse was like, it was funny. We were watching him do it. And actually, he came in the studio. We're sitting there, and he had a buddy that brought him down. And he's like, let me hear the other guy's verse, because I wrote it with another guy. It was a rapper. He's like, well, can I hear your verse? And so Grizz did his verse. He's like, cool. Give me a minute. So they looped it for like 10, 15 minutes, and B just sat there, and he's like, all right, let me do something. First verse was really good. Like, it's solid. And I'm like, all right. Chorus comes by. Second verse, it's exactly what needs to be said in our world. It's like it is the perfect. This is what our world needs right now. To everybody be like, fuck it, you're right. We're all just human beings. Well, except for Malcolm, but you know, he's an alien. But I mean, it was like this really cool moment where it was just like, and then we had like this really heavy dialogue about a couple different lyrics, and it was so amazing to be part of that process and watch him. And then he nailed it without making it preachy, without kind of fucking up the idea. He really got the concept, and like, I'm so proud of that song.
Man, I tell you what, I think if everybody kind of read what what Jesus came to tell us was, I think it would be a whole lot better place.
Well, of course.
But I mean, and that's not wherever you believe. However you believe, it doesn't matter. It's the teaching. I guess he taught a lot. Buddha taught a lot about forgiveness and love and all that stuff, man, and loving each other, and understand. Well, the reason why I think that we all look different. I mean, that's the whole point.
Well, yeah.
The whole point is like, and the thing is it's if you name me, if you want me to name you my favorite artists, they're all African American artists. That's what's crazy. It's like, and it's not just simply because I'm more in touch with the blues and stuff like that, and it's just weird, man. People are just odd people, man. I'm gonna tell you, really. And honestly, look at the Ukraine and look at Russia. Okay, I'm not going to say what I really feel about it because I probably would get kicked off.
Yeah, because there's like, it's such a touchy subject.
All I know is there's innocent people dying.
Yeah,
and look at what other people are doing to other people. It doesn't matter.
It's just always horrible. Here's the weird thing: is at the end of the day, colors are melanin, but we all have red blood. We all have bones. Everybody wakes up every morning. Everybody wants, There's an old song called "Tight Pussy, New Shoes, and a Warm Place to Shit." I'm sorry, that's
man. Woo, woo. No, boy, on that one. My God.
Please edit that out.
Sorry about that, Mom.
I didn't write it, but it's an old song. But what it's saying is that there's a universal thing that everybody kind of really wants when it comes to, like, I've been all over the world. Luckily, I've literally traveled. Like, I've gone over the. I mean, I've been to Russia. I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Africa. I've been to South and Central America. I've toured all these places, and no matter where you go, there's a song called "Small Town" that I wrote. Everywhere is like a small town. Everyone feels the same. Everybody wants to sit down, maybe get a little high, have some fun, have some food, have some this. Everybody wants to get their groove on, and that's it. I don't give a shit where you're from. Everyone has those basic needs. So at the end of the day, everybody needs to shut the fuck up, calm down, turn the volume down, and look at each other and be like, hey man, we're all on this spinning world. The only good thing about aliens, okay, you want to come back to aliens? The best thing that we could ever have is an alien invasion on this planet, because everybody would be like, oh, that's them, and
time to get
us.
Together. Hey,
right?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, Junior and his family know where to come and meet. We're meeting here. Right. I got freaking ammo.
But you know what I mean? That'd be the one time that everyone would drop their weapons and be like, well, wait. It's us against them. That would be the only time the world would stop being stupid and realize that we're stuck on this planet together. So it should be a beautiful thing.
I'm thinking from the looks of it, that's not that far from happening. I mean,
maybe.
Here's the question though: do you think it'll actually be aliens? Do you think it'll be our own world governments?
Well, I think our governments are going to do a false alien.
Look, there's something, and we're seeing something, and it ain't from us. It ain't. There's no way, not from another country. If another country had that technology, they'd already be over here and take us over.
Oh no, that's all this stuff reverse engineered from.
Oh yeah.
So guys, I think we should reconvene with this podcast.
Yes.
Another night.
Part 2. We're gonna have to do a part 2.
We're gonna do a part 2 with Junior here the whole time. We're gonna talk about Bigfoot and aliens this next time. I know we get stuck on music because
I'm gonna have to look up some
Bigfoot
shit so I can talk about Bigfoot.
The aliens and Bigfoot thing. I'd love to hear artists talk about that because I love talking about it because it's you know what, it's so funny because I think my sister thinks I'm out of my mind, my brother thinks I'm out of my mind. But here's the thing. It's the most common thing talked about is Bigfoot, aliens, and music, and that's true.
We still got to do the Bigfoot and Elvis movie.
Oh, definitely, man. Don't worry. I'm thinking we'll get a budget for it soon.
Dude, I would totally do that. then when it's all said and done, we need to do a Dick Croons album. Now check this out.
Yes.
You ready for this? I got a concept. I'm a guy named Dick Croons, right? Mm-hmm. My guitar player is Peter Strum. He's strumming Peters. My drummer is Foreskin, right? The bass player is Low D. And I got the Ball sisters that are my backup singers. But wait, Dick Croons is a narcissistic lounge singer. So like every song is like, I love me, baby. I think I'm quite all right. I need me, baby. And it's a whole thing called, and you know what the name of the movie is? Looking for Dick.
For the dude named Dick.
Dick Croons.
Dick Cruz.
And imagine I could get like these big celebrities to be like, man, I mean, I've
That's a
always
good
been a
look
big
concept.
Dick fan. I love Dick so much. I mean, Dick is like everything that I've ever wanted. And it's all Dick Croons. And it's like, dude, so that's the next album we have to do. But we would do it like all those really badass 70s, like you know, like with the big horn sections and all that shit. You know, down, 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 down. Come on. You're feeling it. You know you do.
Hey,
That's a good concept.
you just gave me a hell of an idea for the next party. We're gonna set cameras up here and have a big screen outside on the fence out there.
Dick Croons is going to play.
And have everybody come in here and do do songs where everybody watches them and we record them. Maybe freaking fun. But
We should do
but
Dick
guys,
Croons. The Dick Croons
Croons.
album is going to happen one of these days.
Absolutely.
Right? I've been on that forever. But if you want to produce it, I think you should produce the album.
He the
Like,
man.
how about, like another one? Something in the way I move. I treat me like no other lover. Something in the way I move me. Don't leave me now. Right? See? You're feeling it, right? You know what I'm talking about.
ladies and gentlemen, Dick Crooms.
See? Dick Croons about to run.
Hey, everybody, please watch out for Rick Monroe and the Hitmen.
No one's going to listen to us after this.
Please look for World
I got a
Gone
song
Crazy,
to add on that.
Common Ground, which is featuring Buffalo from Nappy Roots.
Bad Stretch of Road, which is coming out.
And Bad Stretch of Road's coming out. I think my brother did some artwork
Yeah,
for you
it's
on that
beautiful.
one. And man, I can't wait for y'all to hear the record because there are some killer songs. I'm talking killer. There's not many records I just put on that I've made that I put on just to listen to, and that's one of them. And it's a really, really awesome job. And we had a thing going, kind of a rough record. There's parts because we were all worn out, tired as hell, breaking y'all off the road.
No, we got there. We got through it.
But the thing is, though, man, is like we made a masterpiece because in all masterpieces it's always been
A little pain. There was always pain in birth.
everybody needs a little pain. Okay, here we go, guys.
All right.
Good night.
Hey,
Good night.
Hey, I got an album coming out, R&B remix. That's the sound of your girl sucking on that dick. Yeah. That's the sound of your girl sucking on that dick. Man, you can hear it go pop.
All right, guys.
All right, fellas.
I like to use any of that.